Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Becoming Officially Sinead. And this is an interesting episode because I'm actually going to do some goal setting. And it's a random Wednesday in the middle of November. And it's actually bonfire night. And the reason why I'm doing it today is because I love bonfire night. I just love fireworks, and I'm going to be watching from my window today because it's cold. However, I think it's a great day to start a new plan for your life and just start a new journey. And I'm going to do some goal setting today. I'm going to really write down and master what exactly it is that I want over the next 6 years. In the previous video, I mentioned that I really wanted to really become officially Sinead over the next 6 years. So today I'm going to write a bit of a plan on how I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk you through what exactly I am going to do that, and also what I've been watching, listening to, and reading to come to this conclusion of how I'm going to become officially Sinead. And in my head, it still feels a little bit cloudy. I'm not sure I know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm starting, and that is all that matters. I've got my notebook, I've got a bit of a journal here, and let's get into it. So I know it's very unconventional to restart your life on bonfire night, but I was listening to Emma Greed's podcast a few days ago, and she was basically saying how much of a good idea it is to start a new plan or a new goal on a significant date that you naturally remember, such as New Year's or your birthday or even Christmas Day for some. For me, bonfire night is actually a really great day to do that because I just love fireworks. So I thought, since it's only in a few days' time, and since I have such an incredible love for fireworks, bonfire night is the perfect day to do it for me. Not only that, it kind of gets rid of those end of year blues / new year, new me goals vibe in my head that I always get shook by and always get scared of, because we've reached the end of a year and we're going into a new year and I need to scramble around to get my goal setting done, and I'm leaving it till the week of Christmas and I'm rushing it in. And I think for me, November is a really good time to do that because it's just before the new year, or just as we're getting close towards the end of the year. But not only that, it's bonfire night. So Google actually defines it really well. It says setting goals on a significant day, such as New Year's, birthdays, or an anniversary, is psychologically effective because it provides a clear mental trigger and a natural starting point for change, which enhances motivation, commitment, and accountability. And when it gets to November the 5th, 2026, I can look back and I can go and celebrate what I've achieved over the past year by watching some fireworks. What sounds better than that? I've got my journal and my notebook. I'm going to start out in my notebook. It's so gorgeous. And I'm basically going to start off by writing how my past year has been. I'm going to write down what has gone well. For me this year, it's getting married. That was actually one of the goals on my list for this year. I don't know why I put it as a goal because I had already set the date, but I got married. Number 2 is I came up with quite a lot of business ideas which could do really, really well. So I'm going to put that on the list. The third thing that I would say that has gone really well this year is probably my commitment to living a healthy lifestyle. I was dancing 2-3 times a week. I was going to the gym regularly. I've held my gains. And I have been also eating really healthy. I haven't really been getting much takeout. I still go out for meals, but when I go out, I try and be a bit more experimental and have really nice pasta dishes or rice dishes rather than burgers and chips. So I would definitely say this year I've done well in sticking to my healthy lifestyle. Fourthly, I would say my spending habits have been really healthy this year. I haven't overspent, particularly because I bought a house this year. And I also got married, so I couldn't really just be wildly spending like I would normally. I still have a lot of things to sort out in my house. It's like I'm sitting in my dressing room office and it's currently empty. Everything behind the camera is suitcases and bags. Everything in front of the camera is this. So the house is really empty and I've got some work to do. But I'd say overall my spending habits this year have been really good, and it's something that I want to keep into the next year. I'm going to put one more down, and I'd say this year I have been really good at looking at the growth within myself and seeing where my potential is. And I think sometimes we spend so much time just beating ourselves up that we're not good enough and that we've got so much work to do. And chances are we do have a lot of work to do on ourselves. But I like to see where I have come from and where I'm going, rather than dwelling on what's negative about myself. So that's something that I've changed over the past year, and what I've gotten really good at, and seeing how much I've grown over the past year and how much I can still grow. Hence why I'm starting this YouTube channel and a new business and becoming a content creator, all whilst working full time, because I know my potential. I know where I can go. So this is one of the things that I know that I've done really well at this year. You really don't want to see my handwriting, by the way. So I've looked at things that have gone really well. So now I'm going to look at things that have not gone so well. And I'm going to write 5 things again. I'd say one of those things that hasn't gone well is my consistency in posting content. Now, I set a goal at the beginning of the year that I wanted to document my wedding process. And in some cases I did. But I started quite late on in the year. I also didn't record everything. I only shared certain things that I liked. So I think for me, a learning experience or a learning curve for me would be to just be open and honest with my sharing. And that's something that I learned as I would share more and be more open with the things that I was sharing. My content would actually do so much better. So tips for those who are aspiring to become a content creator: be open and honest, be open to failing, be open to reaching new followers, be open to being a fool to your current followers who are likely to be your friends or your family, because you're gonna have to post to them to reach the ones that actually do want to see your content. So moral of the story is just be open and honest, because that's how you're going to gain followers. My second thing that I would say that hasn't gone as well as planned would be cooking. Now, I don't mind cooking. It's not my favourite thing to do. But I always cook the same things, and one of my goals was to be more experimental with my cooking. Over the past few weeks, I've experimented with cooking soup and pork chops. Yes, I do eat pork. And, just different things. But that was the plan for the beginning of the year, and I started in October, which is fine because I started. However, my plan was to start at the beginning of the year. Now, I say this point to say that when you write a goal, it's important you know how you're going to make that goal and how you're going to commit to that goal. So I think my issue is that I was just writing any goal based off what just popped into my head, and for me I just wanted to eat something different. So I think that's why I put that goal, but actually achieving it and creating tangible steps to achieve it was what hindered me from actually reaching that goal. One of the things that hasn't gone well is my goal setting and goal achieving, because yes, although I did tick some things off the boxes, the rest of the things that I wrote down kind of got ignored and pushed to the bottom. So I'm going to put things that haven't gone well is my goal setting and goal achieving. Number 3, reading. I don't read enough diverse range of literature, and that is something that I need to start doing. Reading more books on business or fiction, non-fiction, just having more diverse knowledge being installed into my brain on a regular basis, and having that wind down time in the evening rather than scrolling or watching EastEnders. I need time in the evening to rejuvenate. I should bring my book on the train. I travel to London 3-4 times a month depending on what's going on with work, and I always just sit there and either work on my laptop or scroll on the internet. So I think for me, it's finding good books that I really enjoy, because I have read some incredible books, and really sticking to a reading routine. So I'm going to add that to my list, because I know the impact reading can have not only on myself and on my mental, but also on the language that I use, the way that I speak and communicate. So I really want to start reading again and having that wind down time to just reset me for the next day. Number 4, my personal look. I think I tend to copy a lot. I tend to copy and imitate a lot of styles that I see on social media and on Pinterest, which is fine because I do actually like it. But in terms of creating my own look and my own visual identity that people can spot and say, oh, Sinead would like that, or that looks like something Sinead would wear, is something that I really want to bring for myself. And also with me becoming and wanting to become a content creator and becoming officially Sinead, I need my own personal look. I sit here in black tees and white tees and leggings and gym wear, but I don't actually have my own style. So that's something that hasn't gone so well for me. And lastly, I would say journaling and time blocking and general time management, to be fair, has not gone well for me this year. And that has caused a lack in so many of these other things, such as posting content and goal setting and achieving and reading. I just don't manage my time well at all. And I'm often late for things. And it's been a constant battle with me and timekeeping. So this year, from November the 5th, 2025 to November the 5th, 2026, I plan to really clamp down on my time management because for me to become officially Sinead and the person that God called me to be, I need to be better at managing my time. And there's no ifs or buts about that. I just need to get better. So the third thing that I'm actually going to write down today is things that I'm scared of. And the reason why I'm putting this is because for me to work out where I want to be and where I want to go, I need to know what I don't want. Things I'm scared of, number 1 is being left behind. And the reason why I say that is because my friends and quite a lot of my family members are doing big things, in big corporate jobs and running businesses, and the influence that I've had from my family members, because they're all pretty successful, it's really big weight on me that I also need to be successful. And I see people doing their things, I see people creating their businesses and making their money, and I don't want to be left behind. And that is something that I have put down. Being left behind is one of my biggest fears. Number 2, this is more future focused. Now, speaking of successes, my family have been really successful at making sure that I live a really good life. I had a really good upbringing. I went on holidays, I got toys and shoes and clothes and had a lovely bedroom. And, I really had no problems, no worries, no concerns. And I want to be able to provide that life for my children when they do eventually come. So one of my biggest fears is not being able to provide that sort of lifestyle and, really, really look after and nurture my children properly. And that doesn't just come down to buying them the things that they want and taking them on these incredible experiences, but it's also being able to install key principles on how to be a decent human being, how to be a successful human being, how to be a child of God. And those are the sort of things that I want to learn how to help other people, not just my children, but general people that I come across and meet at church or outside of church, at work, wherever I am. I want to be able to install wisdom into people. So one thing I'm scared of is not being in a good enough place to do that and to provide a really healthy lifestyle for my children. Number 3 is keeping up with the things that I currently do, such as going to get my nails done, going to get my hair done, going to get my lashes done. Just little things like that I actually really enjoy doing, and it's part of my monthly maintenance. And when you have kids and when you buy a house and when you do all these things and run businesses, you start to lose time. And that's one thing that I'm scared of, that I'll lose my time and not be able to keep up with the things that I want to do. So with that being said, I think one of the things that I'm actually scared of is not having time freedom. A lot of people speak about different types of freedom: financial freedom, time freedom, and the rest that I can't think of right now. But for me, It's time. I want to be able to wake up and decide what I want to do, rather than wake up and say, I need to commit all my time to this project and not give any time to my family. So, time freedom, although it might be debatable how much freedom you can get with time. I really, really want to make sure that I am in a position where I'm able to wake up and say, do you know what? Let me commit some time to my family during the summer holidays, or let me commit some time to really looking after myself this weekend because I'm not feeling too well. So that's the sort of lifestyle that I'm scared that I won't be able to achieve. The fourth thing that I'm scared of is working a corporate job for the rest of my life. As much as I do enjoy my job and I have no problems, my team are incredible. I have some great projects and great opportunities that I get to work on. I just want to be able to have my own business. And it's just always been something that I really enjoyed. When I ran my first business, I absolutely loved it. But it did have its challenges, I'm not gonna lie. And since going back into employment, it has been a battle waking up every day and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm working for somebody else when there is so much stuff that I want to do for myself. And that's one of the things that I'm scared of, having to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely fine to do that or to want to do that. For me, it's just not my calling, number one. And number two, if I want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life, I will. If I don't want to, I want to have that decision where I can say, actually, I feel like stepping away from the corporate world for a little bit to do X, Y, and Z. And that's the choice that I want to have. I want that to lie in my hands, not lie in the fact that I need to make money or lie in the fact that this bill needs to be paid. I want it to be solely because I want to work for that company, not because I have to. And the last thing, which for me is probably the most important thing that I'm scared of, is not fulfilling the purpose that God has called me to do and using the gifts that God has given me. And to me, that's the scariest thing, because literally God has made me with a purpose and with gifts. And for me to sit there and do nothing, do you know how rude that is and how disrespectful that is to God? I think that is crazy. So for me to sit there and do nothing, nothing to do with what God has called me to do, would be a huge mistake for myself. And it is something that I am incredibly fearful of. And I know as soon as God gives me something to do or tells me to do something, I have this inherent response where I have to do it and nothing else matters until it's done. And it happened to me a few years ago when God called me to create this event, and I put it off because I was scared, and eventually I did do it. And since then, people have been able to get married, people have been able to get new opportunities into speaking engagements. And for me, honestly, if I never said yes to God's calling for that event, I would still be sat here now stressing out, racking my brain about how I need to do this event. And I had no money to put on this event. I didn't really have the time either, but I had to make time and I had to invest into that opportunity. And from it was nothing but success. And I am so grateful and so thankful that God called me to do something like that. And God is still calling me to do so, so much more. So all I need to do is be humble enough and open enough and willing enough to just say yes and go with it. So that's one of the things I'm scared of, not fulfilling God's plan for me. So I've written it all down. It's all on paper, and in the next episode I'm gonna go through this list, the things that have gone well this year, the things that have not gone well this year, and also the things I'm scared of. And I'm going to pull together a new goal or a new plan for November the 5th to November the 5th and see what I can pull out of this this lovely little list to influence my new decisions for my new plan and influence the direction that I'm going to go down and how I'm going to achieve it. So yeah, stay tuned for episode 3.